presentation. And last presentation, yes, technology and research, and this really sets the stage for, I mean, it gives you a good idea what, or a clear idea what to look for in the types of research in education technology. And last week, after the presentation, I commented on the two types of research that characterize the research in education technology. As I told you, it used to be media comparative research, which mainly focus on comparing two or many media, which one is more effective on, you know, achievement or motivation or whatever dependent variables that the researcher choose. Okay. The majority of this research in this area resulted in no significant differences. Simply because the focus is on the attributes of each media. If you look at any two media, computer or video, or computer versus traditional, or computer versus, let's say, LCD versus an overhead projector, they are typically the same. The difference is in the content, whether in the slides, or is it transparency, or how the LCD can help me in gaining the student attention. I can present point by point. In the overhead, I can cover the bullets one by one. So I'm gaining the student attention in any case, whether by LCD or this one can give me more benefits, more features. Color, I can add, I can delete. So it has many features compared to, but the variables that makes a difference is not LCD or overhead projector. The variable that make a difference is attention, motivation, giving feedback, all of these variables or factors that affect the student learning. Okay, so that's what we focus on, the attributes of each media. And this is currently what the research is going on. If you look at any journal in our field, ET, R&D, Tech Trends, online journals, the British Journal of Education Technology, Malaysian, and whatever, any journal, you can find most of the research is looking at one or two or more attributes of each media and see what are the interrelationship of these. Okay? So based on that presentation, today we're going to focus on, we talked about hypotheses last week, and among these, from this we're going to talk about the variables. And we said from any problem statement, you can generate a number of hypotheses. From any problem statement, you can generate alternative hypotheses. You can study all of them at one time, or you can, that will give you an opportunity to look at the problem from different angles or different perspectives. This is the same experiment, but we can look at it differently. Whether for the students as a whole, or we divide the students to poor and good students, or high and low achievers, or male and female. X is still the same, the dependent measure, but the A and B are different treatment. Okay, so the colored ones are the variables. And this is what we are trying to do today. We'll talk about variables, how you label variables, and how you define your variables. This is our main focus for this lecture. We're going to talk about variables, and it's an extremely important step in your research. If you don't define your variables correctly, you are not going to have good measures for these variables. Okay? So labeling the variables will give you an opportunity to select a good design, and will determine the measures that you use, whether tests or surveys or observations. That depends on the number of variables and the type of variables that you use. Some of the variables that you can measure, some you cannot. So you can control or manipulate. What we measure is the dependent variables usually. Okay? Most of the independent variables are the features or the attributes of the media or the instruction method that you want to use. Okay, let's see. So among students of the same age and intelligence, skill performance is directly related to the number of practice trials, particularly among boys, but also though less directly among girls. Okay, so skill performance, this is what we can measure by observing, or you see the student performing these skills. Is directly related to the number of practical trials. How many practice that I can give students in my exercise or in my tutorial. Okay, maybe if I give you 2 or 3 more trials, especially in your area. You can teach this software by giving students number of, for example, in a skill in Excel spreadsheet or Access spreadsheet, you can give students number of trials to use the table correctly. So this is expected to have direct relationship among what? Boys, unless among. So this you can state this hypothesis from this problem statement. Okay. So who can give me name of these variables? Which one is dependent? Which one is independent? Which one is control variable or moderator variable? Before we come to the names. Yes.
I think age is a control variable. Boys and girls. The gender is also a control variable. That's it.
Of the same, when I say the same age and intelligence, what does that mean?
Control.
Yeah, so that is similar in our cases. This I can control the age. So my treatment can be given only for 11 grade students or 10 graders. Have the same IQ or intelligence level. This one I can control. This one will come to the name of this one. It's not a control. It is something you moderate your variables. Okay. Now, which one of is a dependent and independent measure here?
Dependent age and intelligence.
Number of skills. Independence. Number of the practice trial. Independent.
Number of practice.
Independence.
Okay.
Dependent skill performance.
Skill performance. Okay. So which one requires measure or an instrument?
Number of practice trials.
Yes, skill performance.
Okay.
Because it's an independent variable.
So which one requires that I develop a test or develop a measure?
Skills.
Skill performance, right? The number of trials is built in my program. I can allow you to have to give 10 trials. I allow group A to have 8 or 5 trials. This is, I can manipulate. Okay? But the one that I'm going to see the difference, whether the skill performance increase or decrease, is the dependent variable. Okay? This is the one that requires that I develop a test or a measure or a survey or an instrument that helps me to see whether the increase or decrease in system performance compared to, or that could be due to the number of practice. Because these are controlled, right? This one I'm going to measure. I can sit in the back of the room and see how many students perform with this. Or I can take the student product in their worksheets or spreadsheets that they develop and see how they perform it. Then I can say, okay, those who were given 20 times trials did better than those who were given 10 times. Okay? So this one I can manipulate. Skill performance is my dependent measure or my dependent variable, or this is the main focus of my study. Okay? We can add more to this one. related to skill performance, related to student attitudes, related to student motivation, related to student achievement. Yes, go ahead.
Can we say that